Straight ahead on 12 News, the influence of Prince finds its way to a Maple Grove home.
I learned from Prince that when you make the content, you're entitled to it.
Plus, a high school football team building a different mindset.
It's really changing the culture of our team.
And later, taking that first financial step.
If you have a job and you have debt, there's a lot of solutions out there. 12
News Money Savers shows you a free way to get out of debt. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Prince's vast and complex estate includes property in Golden Valley.
This rambler on King Creek Road is one of several properties Prince owned. The 3-bedroom, 2,000 square foot home on a half-acre lot is valued at $431,000 according to Hennepin County tax records. A legal filing by Prince's sister indicates the music star did not leave a will, meaning it could take years to sort out Prince's estate. And it's been nearly a week since news broke about Prince's death.
His passing touched millions of lives, including a recording artist who now calls Maple Grove his home. Delane Cleveland explains.
He'd been a longtime member of the community and really a good neighbor for everybody.
In the days following Prince's death,
his music is still so joyful.
On-air tributes were on nearly every radio station.
I always call him the most complete rock star ever.
And various sites around Minneapolis, from stadiums to buildings to bridges, were illuminated in purple to honor the hometown music legend. But nearly 20 miles away in Maple Grove,
I'm a little frazzled.
Resident Mark Andrews grieved in his own way.
What Prince meant to myself and other artists that I know, he was the artist.
Andrews is more commonly known to the world as Sisqo, who's had hits as a solo performer and with his R&B group Dru Hill. Sisqo considers Prince as one of his biggest influences.
If you never heard me say it, it's because I didn't want to be compared, because it's like, you know, if you compare like Sisqo to Prince, it's like, I got a lifetime of work to do.
When Sisqo first got into the music industry, he and Prince shared a connection.
Myself and my group Dru Hill, we had the same lawyer as Prince back when he changed his name to that symbol.
At the time, Prince fought with his record label about ownership of his music.
That was when he had written the word slave on his face.
That fight taught Sisqo a valuable lesson.
I learned from Prince that when you make the content, you're entitled to it. Because of the things that I learned from Prince, I get a bigger lion's share of the works that I created.
Works, some of which are sexually charged in nature, much like ones that Prince released in the 1980s.
If it wasn't for Prince, you know, crawling around naked and When Doves Cry, songs like my popular hit Thong Song would never have even been able to get past the censors.
For pushing the envelope several decades ago, Sisqo owes Prince a debt of gratitude.
Absolutely.
When we interviewed Sisqo last May, he shared a vision with us.
My ultimate goal, you know, before we leave Minnesota, is hopefully to make it to Paisley Park and kick it with Prince.
Yet it was a dream Sisqo never fulfilled, with Prince's untimely death on April 21st.
It's just one of those things where you're like, man, never put off tomorrow what you can do today.
Well, Sisqo says that one of his other regrets is that in 1997, his group Dru Hill teamed up with Mariah Carey to record a cover version of Prince's song, The Beautiful Ones. And Sisqo said he never had the opportunity to ask Prince what he thought about their rendition. Mike?
All right, thank you. Interesting. In other news, transit planners for the Bottineau Light Rail Line face a significant question in Brooklyn Park. Planners have two choices to help pedestrians cross County Road 81 to reach the proposed 63rd Avenue stop: do a street-level crossing or build a bridge. Council members are concerned about safety given the amount of traffic on 81, but building a bridge would be costly.
People might not know it, but Bottineau Boulevard is one of the designated roads where people can move houses. And so you have to have a significant height. And so that kind of throws a wrinkle into it.
The city of Crystal is also pushing for a pedestrian bridge over 81 at the Bass Lake Road stop.
A bus upgrade from Brooklyn Center to downtown Minneapolis is expected to cut travel time for riders by 25%. Metro Transit took reporters along for a ride on what will be the system's second bus rapid transit route when it opens in 2019. Transit officials say prepaid boarding, traffic signal priority, and fewer stops will make for a more convenient trip.
We're planning about a dozen of these rapid bus lines that will bring faster, enhanced service to the areas that are connecting between where light rail will eventually serve. So it's a tool that we have to bring better service to a lot of areas where light rail isn't going to fit or isn't necessarily the right answer.
Transit officials hope the legislature will approve a half-cent sales tax in the metro area to help build out the transit system, including bus rapid transit. In Corcoran, a 2-year-old boy has died from an apparent drowning. According to the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the boy's family found the toddler unresponsive Tuesday in a holding pond. Attempts to revive the boy were unsuccessful.
A Plymouth neighborhood is getting its elementary school back. Construction will begin next month on improvements to reopen Pilgrim Lane Elementary in the Robbinsdale district. The project will include several additions, and Pilgrim Lane will reopen as a kindergarten through 3rd grade arts magnet school, starting with kindergarten classes next year. The school closed in 2009 due to lower enrollment, which has since increased.
An agri-biotech company from Korea is the latest business to open its doors in Plymouth. This is the first United States operation for eGreen Americas, with its parent company, eGreen Global, operating throughout Asia. The company specializes in the mass production of potato seeds, and in Plymouth, there's a lab to grow 5 million seeds that are transported to farms before they end up at your table.
In order to do business in this potato business, the best area is northern parts of the U.S., mostly Minnesota, North Dakota, and Idaho and Washington and all those areas. And we picked Minnesota because it's very convenient in many ways for us, and then it has all the big farms and big processors and big customers for us.
The company employs 25 people in Plymouth now, but that could grow to 100 people in the next several years. The Cooper High School football coach is teaching his players an important lesson off the field.
And as reporter Sonia Goen shows us, the coach is hoping the whole student body will take part in that lesson as well.
Will be a handoff to McClellan, and he is thrown to the turf.
The Cooper Hawks are known for their hard hits on the football field.
Good pursuit, though, and down he goes.
Now Coach Willie Howard is hoping the players will use some of that power to tackle a bigger issue.
The biggest thing is just really having them set the tone. I mean, when I'm sitting around about 1,000 pounds of beef right here, they're big men on campus, and if they're the big men on campus, my expectation is that they're leading.
Coach Howard is kicking off a Dress for Success campaign.
I like the bow tie personally.
The team will dress up in shirts, slacks, and ties on 2 days of the week.
We have a couple laid out here. A lot of our kids can't afford shirts and ties, so that's half of the problem.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to help players look the part.
And if they start changing the way that they come to school and how they look and how they operate, then the school hopefully will follow.
The goal is not only to look good on the outside, but inside as well.
To get that mindset that I want to be successful, I have to be successful. It's an expectation to be successful. There's a big difference. I mean, you look all neat and tidy, and you just feel like, you know, you own something.
This is kind of a way for us to turn it around and change the reputation of our school.
The team is also trying to defeat stereotypes.
Here's Taylor trying to bounce it to the outside, gets a block, and he's in for the touchdown.
Football players have a reputation of being all brawn and no brains.
I've got 3.5, a 3.0 sitting to my right and working on hard classes. So these are kids that absolutely understand that academics is going to take them where they want to go.
Coach Howard says if players and students look as good as they feel, it'll be a win-win for everyone.
I want to look right. I want to feel good. I want to look good, and I want to play good.
Cooper went right at him. That was an awesome drive after everything that's happened.
In New Hope, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
We're going to do it. They will that.
The campaign starts May 7th. The team is in need of 100 dress shirts and 250 ties. And if you would like to help donate, you can go to our website, which is 12.tv. Well, coming up, a way to get out of debt you may not have heard about. That's next in Money Savers.
And then a little bit later in sports, Champlin Park breaks out the Big Bats in its softball game against Armstrong.
But first, have a rain jacket handy Thursday. It'll be chilly with a chance for showers through the lunch hour. You might have heard the saying, it's easier to get into debt than it is to get out of it.
A Minnesota nonprofit wants to help people get out of debt with no strings attached. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains how in today's Money Savers.
That's how we look at it, is kind of like conquer your debt.
You could call it a fine art mosaic.
This is fantastic. One of our financial counselors worked with people to cut up their credit card debt, and then she took it and made a tree of life and tree of hope.
For some people, cutting up cards could be a step in the direction away from debt.
Most people are scared and ashamed, especially with debt, and we want them to know there's no need to feel ashamed. Make a plan.
You can get help making a plan at no cost to you at Lutheran Social Services Financial Counseling.
There's solutions for everyone.
You can get help in person, on the phone, or online.
We serve everybody, and really honestly, what we find is 90% of who we serve is working people with debt.
Daryl Dahlheimer is the program director. He's seen debt come in all sizes and from every background.
We'll meet with anyone for free, so that's the best news about financial counseling. And if you want to have a debt management plan as well, then that's great too.
Financial counselors can set up debt management plans that are a win-win.
It's about having some actual awareness.
They provide a plan for getting you out of debt.
Every month they're getting debt-free.
And it can improve your credit score along the way.
Debt management plans help people pay through us to the creditors, and because we're a nonprofit, all the creditors lower the interest rates down to near nothing, and that allows people to pay their debts off really quick and with good credit because it's payment in full, but faster.
Dahlheimer says the toughest part is often making that first call, but there's help at the other end of the line.
If you have a job and you have debt, there's a lot of solutions out there.
For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Coming up, 40 years of Parks and Recreation in Crystal.
But first, district rivals Maple Grove and Park Center go head-to-head in a baseball battle. John Jacobson has the highlights coming up next.
Considered a strong contender coming into the season, the Maple Grove baseball team started the Northwest Suburban Conference schedule 2-2. The Crimson looked to build on a 13-inning win they had over Blaine when they visited Park Center. And Maple Grove gets on the board first. Curtis Haugen bounces to short. Isaac Collins, who had doubled, scores from third, and it's 1-0 Crimson after an inning. Park Center responds in the bottom of the second. Ryan Traeger singles to right. And pitcher Dan Hansen, who had doubled, dives in to score. The Pirates even it up at 1-1. Maple Grove gets 3 more in the top of the third. Lucas Burrington lifts a fly ball to right field. It's deep enough to score Haugen on a sacrifice fly. That run makes it 4-1 Crimson. Same score in the 6th when Bubba Horton tags a ball down the line in deep left field. Haugen scores an insurance run on a double for Horton to make it 5-1 Crimson. Park Center gets one in the 6th. Hansen hits a chopper to third. Jaden Roll makes a nice play to get the out at first, but Horton's throw across to third sails out of play. Ronnie Seipert scores, and the Pirates pull within 5-2. That's all they would get. Brett Schultz goes the distance with a 5-hitter, and Maple Grove wins it 5-2. After a couple of one-run losses to start the season, the Champlin Park softball team has started to win some games. Rebels hosting an Armstrong team Tuesday that was coming off its first win of the season, and the Falcons will take the lead first in this one. Joyce Yellowhammer hammering one deep to left, out for a solo home run. Armstrong has a 1-0 lead in the second inning. Bottom of the second, Rebels Holly Blaska drives one to the opposite field and left. Holly Mazai scores, and the game's tied at 1. Then Sam Proctor connects. She sends one over the left field fence for a 2-run homer. The Rebels are ahead for good. It's 3-1 after 2 innings. In the third, Taylor Gukeen shows bunt, then swings away, finds the gap in right center field. Laura Klepner comes around to score from first base to make it 4-1. Gukeen gets to third with a triple. Later in the third, Proctor, another of her 3 hits on the day. This one, a double off the fence and left. Blaska scores. Champlin Park's up 6-1. Brittany Davis goes 4 for 4 on the day. Hard smash here off the glove of the Falcons' third baseman. Jordan Johnson scores. Champlin Park scores 4 runs in the third inning. and they had 4 more in the 4th. They 10-run Armstrong 11-1 in 5. The Rebels are now 4-3 on the season. At Osseo, the Orioles were looking to improve to 3-1 in Northwest Suburban Conference games. Nice defensive play by Osseo early in the game. Lane Ruska making the catch in left and then throws home. The catcher Andrea Denslake with a tag out of the Andover runner. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Bottom of the 2nd. Denslake comes through with the bat, hitting a hard grounder to short. Bailey DeBoer scores 1-0 Orioles as Denslake reaches first. 2 batters later, Ruska with a sharp run-scoring single to left. El Wilform is in with Osseo's 3rd run of the game. Bottom of the 3rd, DeBoer singles up the middle for Osseo. Faith Lovchick comes in to score, and it's 4-0. They'd lead 5-0 through 4. In the 5th, Ruska with 2 outs hits one to center that skips past the center fielder. April Jacobs scores to make it 6-0 Orioles. They'd add 2 more runs, and Osseo wins it over Andover 8-2. One of the big regular season boys golf tournaments of the spring comes up this weekend. The annual Tri-State Invitational is Friday and Saturday at Edinburgh, USA. Edina is the defending champion and will be one of 20 teams playing in the 36-hole event. Wayzata and Trentino Grace are also in the field. The Trojans finished 4th a year ago. They won the tournament in 2014. Tee time starts Friday morning for that tournament at Edinburgh.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a day to call your own.
And we recognize someone who spent 40 years in Crystal's Parks and Rec department when we come back.
And finally, how many people do you know who have worked 40 years in the same place?
They are few and far between, right? But Crystal's retiring recreation director, Gene Hackett, is one of those people. This is Jean's last day on the job, and it is Gene Hackett Day in Crystal. She started as a recreational supervisor when she was in college. The year was 1975. She's been the recreation director for more than 20 years. So what's been the best thing about the job?
The residents definitely are the best part of it. We have just a great group of people here in Crystal. We have a very active park commission. We've had people that are always supportive of our programs and any initiatives that we try and do, and people love their parks and recreation programs here in Crystal.
Gene says renovation of the Crystal Pool and turning it into the Aquatic Center about 10 years ago was a highlight of her career there. And so now the job is to put down on paper or in the computer all that knowledge that you've gained over 4 decades that you forget to write down, you know?
Right.
So she was working on an agenda for the next meeting when we left, in a meeting next month that she won't be at.
Wow, write those notes and write them fast, right?
Pass them off to the next people so they know what to do next.
That's right. Well
Congratulations,
done.
Gene. And that's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock.